Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of NIGHTCAP. Oh boy, it is the night. We are a night late, a whole night late. With some personal business to attend to last night, so I couldn't do it. But I still wanted to make sure we got one in. This is the temporary home of Zubox live streams. If you would like to know where the actual content is, check out the links in the description. That's where we are. That's where we live. This is where we're visiting, if you will. Got no choice. Got these crazy religious zealots, these vortex people coming after me. If it's not fucking MGTOWs or furries or whatever, always somebody coming to get me. Always somebody coming after NIGHTCAP specifically. Very controversial NIGHTCAP, you know? People with content hold. Is the fan on? Yes, it is. Is it really that loud? It's probably more just the, what do you call it? The heater, the HVAC. Probably kicking in the background. If it's super bad, I guess let me know. 'Cause I could turn it down a little bit. This microphone I got, let me tell you folks, not great. I have to get like right up on it. These damn snowballs. Hopefully it's not too bad, it's not too distracting. Because we got a soldier on. I had to turn up the sensitivity just so I didn't have to be like inside the microphone. The hotspot it's very odd. Very odd. But yeah, I don't know. We're gonna start out light tonight, and then I think we're gonna finally check out old Mr. X. We will provide the proper context for that, but I just kind of wanted to briefly discuss. So apparently, Scorsese has gotten himself into some trouble once again. This Scorsese guy, he's out there with these opinions. As if he's, an established person. As if he's known. There's a body work behind him that might validate some of his opinions. How dare he? It's a little fucking boomer. So anyways, let's check this out. I got this on Twitter. I got pulled up on Twitter. Martin Scorsese says the art of cinema is being systematically devalued, sidelined, demeaned, and reduced to its lowest common denominator due to the naming of films as content. So he authored an essay about Federico Fellini. And by doing that, he kind of got into this larger discussion about kind of the modern landscape of movies and how things are developed and what people care about and how companies basically are treating art. They're devaluing art because it's become content. It's just about needing something out there, needing to put something out, needing to fill the streaming services with just stuff. And he says it's detrimental and that we should, if we're film fans, be kind of guarded against this a little bit, you know? He makes the argument for curation. You know, that sometimes it's a good thing not to have everything available to you at every fucking moment. But we're going to look at some of his stuff here. We'll look at a little bit of this essay. This is IndieWire's take on the essay, which pulls the hot quotes. This is actually the full essay is on, Harper's Magazine. Il Maestro by Martin Scorsese, Federico Fellini, and the Lost Magic of Cinema. And this is something like that's kind of been his bag, right? He's been talking about this for a couple years now. The difference between cinema, the difference between populist filmmaking and kind of the landscape that's out there. And you got these fucking nerds, man, just trying to destroy him, denigrate him for being an older man who just doesn't get Marvel, doesn't get Disney, doesn't care about Star Wars. How dare he? Don't you know this is what defines people's personalities in the modern era? Doesn't he know that? Well, let me tell you, folks. He doesn't. He doesn't care. It's an interesting article. I read the whole thing. And that's just, basically what his argument is what I said. That's what I just said. Here's a good little pull quote from it, right? Curating isn't undemocratic or elitist, a term that is now used so often that it's becoming meaningless. It's an act of generosity. You're sharing what you love and what has inspired you. The best streaming platforms, such as the Criterion Channel and Mubi, and traditional outlets such as TCM, Turner Classic Movies that is, are based on curating. They're actually curated. Algorithms, by definition, are based on calculations that treat the viewer as a consumer and nothing else. Which is true, right? An algorithm is not trying to guide you to something that you might find profound or that's meaningful. It's just trying to go for the lowest common denominator, just trying to pander to what they think is going to make you click on something. In the same way that we have with a lot of journalism, websites and whatnot, it's all based on clickbait. It's all based on the now. Just something that will make you angry or entice you in some kind of primal way. Kind of your baser instincts is trying to get at, so that you'll click on the button and you'll go to their site, you'll give them a hit, they'll run an ad, and they'll get 10 cents. But yeah, that's kind of what it is. But the reaction to it is kind of what's more interesting, because there's another round of these very negative reactions to what he's doing, and it's like a threat to their fandom, to their nerddom, their identities, like I said, right? Here's a pull quote that Variety took out, not Variety, IndieWire took out. As recently as 15 years ago, the term content was heard only when people were discussing the cinema on a serious level, and it was contrasted with and measured against form, Scorsese writes. Then, gradually, it was used more and more by people who took over media companies, most of whom knew nothing about the history of the art form or even cared enough to think that they should. Content became a business term for all moving images. A David Lean movie, a cat video, a Super Bowl commercial, a superhero sequel, a series of episodes. It was linked, of course, not to the theatrical experience, but to home viewing on the streaming platforms that have come to overtake the movie-going experience, just as Amazon overtook physical stores. So what he's kind of getting at is this concept that they're flattening everything out. Nothing is higher or more important or more special than anything else. And it's it's a negative way to view it. This is kind of this is his building of the argument of the importance of curation. Why curation might be a worthwhile endeavor, even in this kind of modern landscape of the streaming, Maybe we shouldn't be just blindly obsessed with just more. More is not good. More is just what it is. It's just more. Doesn't make it special. It doesn't make it meaningful. And there are a few streaming services, I've actually always wanted to get the Criterion Channel. I haven't yet. I think whenever I finally decide to ditch Netflix, which feels like it could come at any moment. Netflix is just a barren wasteland of just mediocrity. And it engages in that behavior that I was talking about, that algorithmic behavior. They saw that people are into true crime miniseries. Now you get a new true crime miniseries every week. None of them are very good. They're all 3-4 episodes too long. Maybe 2 episodes too long, to be generous. But there's something about them that just is artificial and gross, and it doesn't... I don't know, it just feels less and less like it's worth my time, In the same way that kind of reality television, at some point, I was just completely done with the format. Just completely done. I just wanted no part of it anymore. I can't even stand it. It kind of makes me sick. It makes me feel gross. It makes me feel bad. It's this weird thing because, Scorsese, people trying to say that Scorsese, if it wasn't for Netflix, if it wasn't for Apple, you wouldn't have made The Irishman. You wouldn't have made your new movie. Or The Flower of the Killing Moon, I think it's called. That's an Apple Paramount joint. And it kind of just misses the point of what he's saying. He's not saying that they're entirely bad or that they're not necessary or they're not the future. He's just saying that cinema, the art form, is worth protecting. That's it. Really. And people just lose their fucking minds. We're going to look at some of the responses to this tweet from Discussing Film. People go down, you get into the mentions, as they say, as the kids say. Check this out. Some of these are trolls. Some of them are very good trolls. Old guy is just mad because the new content has more range than his movies. Now, this is like kind of a meme. But somebody actually, I believe a while ago, I believe this was like a real thing. Like somebody actually made this and was being serious. Because Marvel fans, they just lost their fucking minds. I wish I had found... There's a clip from this pariah, this consumer, this fucking coomer called John Campea. He used to work for AMC, then he worked for Collider, and now he does his own thing. And I don't really hate John Campea or anything, but he's one of these guys that's just like, and he's kind of a bigger name in this space, in the kind of generic movie review, pop culture, journalist, whatever you want to call him. Like, he's kind of a bigger name for some reason. He does very well for himself. Guy's buying $1 million homes in California as we speak. He's got a fucking floating drone camera in his production. The guy's got like 5 cameras to do a show where he just sits in front of his laptop or his computer and talks about movie news. Generally, pretty milquetoast stuff. I'm not a fan. I don't really watch him very often. Let me see. I'm trying to find some good ones. I found some earlier. Some of them are definitely trolls. I like this one. Kurt the Flirt says, to everyone who is mad about this, just take pride in knowing that even Martin Scorsese's shittiest movie is still better than every Marvel film. And I say this as someone who likes Marvel movies. Right on, brother. Why doesn't he understand that there are different kinds of audiences and there's all types of movies for those kind of audiences? He's a great director, but to comment on others' work because he finds that unentertaining is a little snobbish. Again, like, it kind of just misses the point. They say like, oh, he's just shitting on them. He doesn't consider them real movies, real cinema. He doesn't consider them cinema in terms of an artistic endeavor. Like, in cinema is something that should, just like a good poem, a good book, a good song, it's the height of the art form. It's something that kind of engenders something special and unique inside of you. Maybe you learn something about the human condition. Maybe you learn a little bit about yourself. That's what good movies do. And that's not to say you can't accomplish that in genre films. If you know Scorsese, he's a fan of movies, and he is not a snob. Okay? He's not some dude that fucking sticks his nose up at, genre movies. That's just not his bag. That's not the way he is. Let's see here. Uncle Marty comes from a different era of filmmaking where films were more special and it wasn't all blockbusters. I understand what he is saying. Look at Netflix. They plan to release a new film every single week this year. How many of those movies will get the spot to shine? Again, perfect point there, Keltrick Pickens. Beautiful point. Your 3-hour film got Netflix 10 Oscar nominations. Look, and he's got a little Spider-Man thing here. A little Spider-Man avatar. Ben says free Assange. Watch Glow. Associate producer of Zack Snyder's Justice League Bernie 2020 at Council Pod on Spotify. I don't know who the fuck he is. But anyways. Yeah, again, missing the point. Missing the forest for the trees, if you will. That's not what he's saying. He's not saying that they shouldn't exist. He's saying that there's more to making movies, telling stories, than just shitting things out there. Kind of unmodulated, right? He still can't get over the MCU. They should have included a mafia planet and made Joe Pesci a psycho alien mobster just to make Marty feel at home. See, this is how... Is this a real person? Physics geek working on 5 novels. Whoa, hey now. Big player Patricia Schwartz, PhD. Yeah, because that's a lot of things like, oh, he just like wallows in crime and celebrates evil, awful people and blah, 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 blah. And he doesn't like really... It's such a weird, pedantic view on the work of Martin Scorsese, for Christ's sakes, and what he tries to accomplish through exploring these things. The reason why he starts exploring the subject matter is because it's something that he kind of knew. He grew up around. He has some sort of awareness of it. And they're kind of just like these big Greek tragedies. He plays them out that way, and it's all Shakespeare. It's all about human beings and what drives people. All these things that are at the bottom of all of us are base humanities. And mobsters, whether you like it or not, are kind of a good vertical slice of some of the worst aspects of humanity. But there's also a lot of redemption that is possible through those things. And that's what he explores in his characters. I mean, how can you watch The Irishman and think it's like just some shallow fucking exploration of a gangster movie? Even Goodfellas, even the ones that are a little bit more like superficial, I don't get it. I don't get having that perspective on Martin Scorsese. It's disgusting. It's okay, Martin. We all know you've secretly downloaded HBO Max in anticipation of the Snyder Cut. Of course he has. Of course he has. He's going to be right there watching the Snyder Cut with me, waiting for it to drop at 3 a.m. March 18th. We're all going to be there. Me, Marty, Peter Jackson, Fellini's Ghost. We're all going to be there watching the Snyder Cut. Coming from an old dude that cannot keep up with the times, Goodfellas, Raging Bull, and Taxi Driver were... this guy's awful. Were all great movies, but this is a new generation of filmmakers. By the way, when is the last time he cast a black person in his movies? Oh, well, that gets to the heart of the issue, David A. Fuller. I'm putting you on blast. Putting you on blast, David. It's a dumb fucking thing. Like, why would you... Like, you know, because if he did that, then he would be accused of tokenism or not understanding the black experience enough. Like, you could never win with something like that, you know? You know, don't ask an artist to tell a story that he doesn't want to tell. You wouldn't like it either. Like, you would not like that. You wouldn't enjoy that. You know it. Let's see here. Let's see another one here. Scorsese. Content sees how well the superhero trend is doing. Awesome in the box office. Also Scorsese. Let's make another movie about gangsters and mobs. Hires the same 4 guys. This time they are way too old to play gangsters and should play grandpa. I mean, just sad shit. Here's somebody. Their avatar is what, Wanda? Scarlet Witch? See, I'm good. You know, I know about this stuff. I'm not ignorant to what's out there, guys, okay? I'm not some young man with a boomer brain. That's not me. Do people not realize that the people that care about this aren't film purists? It's the people who make films and don't want their life's passion to become a dull slate of commercial rubbish. He's definitely a film snob. Also jealous. Surprisingly, Molly C coming in with some sense. And then you have this dipshit, Spider Dasik, Michael B. What's his little... I'm just an ordinary guy who likes music, films, TV series, and books with good story, PC games, and of course, friends. I would say you don't like films. I would say that you like content. Spider Dasik. Every Scorsese movie is about a white male sociopath who treats his loved ones like shit and isn't sorry about it. Oh, and he loves finding ways to have those white men hit women or say the N-word unnecessarily. God forbid somebody explore a world that makes you uncomfortable. It's fucking nuts, man. Just because movies cost millions of dollars to make doesn't make them better than the kids shooting videos on YouTube or TikTok. If you can't elicit an emotional response from a person, it's art, but it's all still content. What a fucking moron. Like, it's like the reading comprehension is crazy because these are people, I guarantee you, most of these people read the fucking headline, did not read IndieWire's editorial about it, didn't read the essay, which you can read for free. You don't have to, there's no paywall, whatever. You just go to Harper's and you can read it. It's linked in that IndieWire thing. Like, if you really wanted to know, you could find out and not make yourself look like an idiot like Glip Glop. I tell bad jokes and love comic book movies. Wow, hey, what a great thing to put in your bio. He is easily top 5 directors of all times, but he really shouldn't be so close-minded about stuff he doesn't like. Not everyone likes movies he likes, and they aren't wrong for watching what they want. Again, I feel like this is just a lot of what we're going to read here. Scorsese is literally the least snobby and most open-minded director of any of the greats. He loves Godzilla. He loves blaxploitation. He spent his career bringing international movies to bigger audiences. He's just able to recognize when garbage is garbage, like with the MCU. Thank you, Miss Sandry Inc. Exactly. We'll end with here. Disaster, who looks like he might be a communist. All these people replying are literally too dumb to understand what he's saying. He's saying film is an art, not a commodity. It's not a commercial product. That's not what film is. That's not what art is. Let me see. Mark Ash, not an actual Ewok, just in case you were curious. No, he's saying more people should watch his movies because he feels bad that other content, quote unquote, is getting more views than his art, quote unquote. If he was happened to just go make art for the sake of art, there would be no problem. He makes art for attention and he's not getting as much. Oh, what a gross thing to say about Martin Scorsese.
What a fucking disgusting, stupid thing to say. You should be ashamed of yourself, sir. Brought shame to your house this day. Shame to your house. God, I got like half a mind to go try to find that John Campia clip. It's fucking awful. Let's see if I can find it. Let's take a peek. We'll take a peek at these fucking coomers. This is a grown-ass man. John Campia, Scorsese. See what he has to say. Yeah. Oh my god, this is so long. You might have to watch it though. Yeah, Scorsese makes idiotic Marvel invading cinemas remarks. No, this is going to be painful. I think we might have to take a peek though. We might have to take a peek at this. Because he says some fucking really gross things here. Bing, 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 bing.
Let's move on to our...
Oh, here we go.
Let's move on to our final topic of the day, he says. Look at this fucking coomer. Look at this. Pure Canadian. Pure Canadian trash. Pure Canadian trash, this fella.
Fifth and final main topic today. Chris, what is our fifth and final main topic today?
This is the one that our glorious little thumbnail picture from Ray is about. So good. This is from Fred Y. Hey, John. I originally...
If I get content claim for this, I'm going to be fucking real upset. If John Campia takes down Zoobox, boy, that would be poetic.
I thought people were taking Martin Scorsese's comments about real cinema a little too seriously. But I wanted to know if you saw his most recent comments. He seems to be doubling down on it, saying we shouldn't allow Marvel films to, quote, invade cinemas. What are your thoughts on his comments? How do you feel about this follow-up?
You know one of the most frustrating things in the world is?
What?
Defending somebody, and then that somebody does something that makes your defense of them look dumb.
Yeah.
That has happened.
He's never defended him. He actually literally made the argument, because I don't think this is the right clip. Because this all was happening around the same time about a year ago. Or over a year and a half ago. He did not defend Martin Scorsese. He actually said Martin Scorsese was jealous because he would put up box office numbers. Be like, Martin Scorsese never made a movie that made as much as the fucking Endgame. Never made me coom. Martin Scorsese never making John Campia coom.
Happened to me several times. And it has happened again. Look, when Martin Scorsese, one of the greatest filmmakers in
Pay your respects, you
history
fucking
of the
pig.
industry, and if you want to talk about people who know cinema, you don't need more than the digits on one hand to count the people who are better at it and who know it more than Martin Scorsese does.
So why wouldn't his opinion be valid? Like, why wouldn't you take it into serious consideration? Like, why are you so threatened about this, John Campia? He's not going to take your fucking Disneyland pass. You fucking simp.
Let's just be clear about that. So when Martin Scorsese came out the other week and said, you know, I don't really consider. Remember, I cut him a lot of slack because it's not like it was a prepared statement. It was, he was asked a question, he answered it, and yeah, maybe the wording was a little bit off, but he basically, look, I don't really consider Marvel types of films cinema, as well as they're made, you know, made well. You know, when you look at the aspects of cinema, they're not really cinema to me, but whatever. And to me, I thought everybody gave Marty too hard of a time.
He didn't, actually. This fucking Coomer, like I said, did not feel this way. This is revisionist history. Don't trust this guy. He's Canadian.
Come on. I mean, look, just because we as comic book movie fans, we can be overly sensitive little whiny babies sometimes. And I'll include myself in that, all of us, comic book movie fans. It's like, you know, oh yeah, everything's great. Somebody said something about not loving comic book movies? Boo! Like, we are oversensitive little babies sometimes. That's what we do. And I thought that maybe we were doing that a little bit when Martin Scorsese mentioned that. He said, look, they're well made, but I don't really consider them cinema and blah, blah. It's like, okay, whatever. No big deal.
No big whoop.
Big deal.
No big whoop.
And I said, well, I don't agree with what he said. And I think if Marty paid a little bit more attention, because I did take issue with the fact that he said he doesn't even watch them. I'm like, how can you give a qualifying statement about movies you don't even watch, Marty? But, so I didn't agree with that. I took a little bit of an issue with that. But overall, I think we were all making too much of a big deal about it. Well, no, we weren't. No, people weren't. Because recently on stage, Martin Scorsese was doing a Q&A, and he decided not to qualify his statements, not to say, I was hoping Marty Scorsese would come out and say something along the lines of, look, I just watch these films and I think they're well made, but I think they lack some of the artistic merit that traditional film really does have. And I would respect that. If that was his point of view, I would respect.
I mean, what the fuck is, you know, he just goes on and on. He says the same thing over and over again. This is not the right clip, by the way. I should have, there's a different clip. This is not the right one.
That. I was hoping he would say something like that, but he didn't.
This one could be even worse, folks. This could be even worse.
Marty Scorsese decided to double down and make his intentions clear. He not only does not like comic book movies, he doesn't even think they should be in theaters. This is what he said. These are his newest statements. He said the value of a film that's like a theme park film, for example, the Marvel type pictures, where the theaters become amusement parks, that's a different experience. As I was saying earlier, it's not cinema. It's something else.
And what's wrong with that? Like, what is wrong with that statement? Saying it's not like what he considers cinema. It's a different experience. He's not even saying that it's bad or it's good or whatever. He's just saying that the experience is different. It's not there to like be like some sort of deep, introspective sojourn into the soul of mankind, of human beings. No, they're there for fucking fun, for popcorn, to make you excited. They're not there for like I said, like some sort of deep experience. It's pretty uncontroversial, honestly. But people like Campia, like Jonathan Campia, can't help themselves. Little filthy little badgers.
Whether you go for that or not, it is something else, and we shouldn't be invaded by it. We shouldn't be invaded by it.
He's saying that it is these commercial products have completely like destroyed the ability for a lot of like really cool, interesting filmmakers who go out there and try to make cinema. They don't have a place in the theatrical experience anymore. Now this is pre-COVID too. It's interesting. COVID kind of brought back like the idea of putting other movies other than big popcorn movies in the theater. You know, I've been going and watching a lot of kind of retro nights. I saw The Thing, saw a few other like kind of my favorites that like I just happened to see coming along, you know, into the theaters, and it's awesome. It's a great experience. It reminds me why theaters are awesome. I've seen plenty of Marvel movies. I've seen plenty of DC movies in the theater. I never felt that way. It's such a different thing when you watch like an honest to God like good movie, whether it's like a genre movie like The Thing or it's like a good drama. You know? That's all he's really saying.
And so that's a big issue. And we need the theater owners to step up for that, to allow theaters to show films that are narrative films.
Mm-hmm.
It's something else, and we shouldn't be invaded by it. Comic book movies, ladies and gentlemen, apparently are invading us. They're not just not the best, they're actually uninvited guests to Martin Scorsese. These movies are uninvited guests. We don't want them here. Says Martin.
It's not what he's saying at all. He's just saying that if you know, what do you call them? Theater owners, whatnot, don't like stand up for the integrity of the art form, then all is going to be is lowest common denominator. Trash. Populist, pandering, gross trash. That's all he's saying.
Martin, because they're invaders. And so that's a big issue, and we need the theater owners to step up to allow theaters.
Sarah says Halloween in the theater was so great. It was. My wife Sarah and I on Halloween night, which is also our wedding anniversary, we went to see the film Halloween. First time that we had ever seen it on the big screen. And it was great. It's transformative. It shows you why those movies are great when you see it in that context. It's a much different thing than watching it like at home. It's like you get to see it with fresh eyes again. I guarantee you that Martin Scorsese probably thinks Halloween is cinema over fucking Infinity War or whatever the fuck it's called.
To show films that are narrative films. Now, I have gushed, and I will continue to gush, about the genius and magnificent that is the deity that walks among us known as Martin Scorsese. And whatever he says or thinks about
Shut up,
comic
pig
book
fucker.
movies, none of that changes that he is one of the greatest who has ever done
Then
it.
get to the point, fucking
And
camper.
is
Jesus.
still today one
What's
of
up,
the
Voyage?
greatest on the planet to do it today. Regardless of how misguided I think his comments on this issue was, none of that changes. So let me preface everything that I'm going to say by Martin Scorsese is way smarter than me. He's way smarter than you. He's way better at this. He knows more about movies than you or I.
So why are you about to freak out, you Marvel simp? Why are you about to lose your fucking mind? Look at this face. This is a coomer. This guy's a coomer, dude. It's all Funko Pops and Marvel movies and pizza and diarrhea for this guy.
Ever will in our lifetime, and he deserves all the respect in the world. That's the foundation.
Thank you, Voyage. Yeah, I think as far as DLive and Twitch go, I think we'll probably be experimenting with stuff until we get our live streaming privileges returned on the main Zoobox channel. But thanks for following us over here. Thanks for following the other things, because we'll pop up on there too.
That being said, Scorsese upping his attack and the verbiage he's using, and this wasn't just a random question he was asked on some carpet or some interview.
Fucking
this
get
is him
to
on a
it, boy.
stage. These are clearly remarks and thoughts he had given some thought to.
And
he is now showing his hand. That not only does he not like comic book movies, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that if you don't like comic book movies, even if you're Martin Scorsese. But referring to
wild
using
Marvel
words
simp,
like
yes.
they're invading us. We shouldn't be invaded by it. We need theaters to step up and nudge out some of these other movies so we can make room for my kind of movie, is what he's saying. You know, last week I made a video talking about the Jennifer Aniston comments about how she longs for the day when we didn't have all these comic book movies and we could have, you know,
these people get so fucking defensive. That's the problem. It's not the fact that you like superhero movies or whatever, but it's so ingrained. It's so part of their personality. They get like personally offended when Martin Scorsese, one of the greatest filmmakers of all time in the short history of cinema. I mean, cinema's only really been around since like 1917. And they just can't handle it. They cannot believe that he just wouldn't fucking bend the knee, that he wouldn't appreciate or respect it. Void says, I like Marvel and I like DC because I love superheroes and the well-written ones. No, but that's the point. There's no reason not to enjoy these things, but to suggest that they're the height of the art form of cinema, of filmmaking, is what Martin Scorsese is talking about. And he's worried that the commercial aspect, the commodity aspect of what those movies are is going to overtake the concept of movie-going. Like, people are not going to be able to go see like good dramas and stuff like that, good narrative films, in a theater anymore. He's worried about that.
Who's in it?
Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan. Almost said Meg Kelly. Meg Ryan movies. I long for the days of Meg Ryan movies and movies like Terms of Endearment. And my underlying thought on that was, that's cool, but a lot of these celebrities seem to have a mistaken concept here that, oh, if these comic book movies just disappeared, everybody would be flocking to the theaters to watch Terms of Endearment. And
that's not what he's saying. See, this is, he's straw man misrepresenting what Martin Scorsese is saying. He just wants there to be room for Terms of Endearment. He wants there to be people to have the opportunity to do that. Because, you know, with things like the Marvel movies and Star Wars and everything else, everything that Disney fucking owns, that shit is fucking shoved down your throat marketing-wise. Like, it's inescapable. You can't help it. And your lizard brain activates, your primal brain activates, and you can't help yourself. You're curious. I mean, you've seen the trailer, you've seen the clip a million times by the time they actually hit theaters, and you can't, it's almost like you can't, it's like a drug. You can't help yourself. But to suggest that they're the same thing as like watching Casino or The Irishman or whatever is false. Void says, I think movies are a reflection of the creativity in the movie industry. The problem is all of them are repeats and generic, mediocre movies, and it sucks. Yeah, because it's a business, you know? And a lot of times they go for what is safest. The safe bet. That's why a lot of these movies, they're you know, a lot of these big superhero movies and stuff, outside of like kind of what Zack Snyder was trying to do with with the DC movies. If you think of Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, his incoming Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League, like he's really kind of does things to alienate people. He's swinging for the fences. Now, granted, that doesn't mean he's going to be successful. It doesn't mean his movies always work, but at least he's trying to do something different. You have like the Marvel movies specifically, like if you really start deconstructing them, you really start thinking about them, it's just the same movie over and over again. There's just something kind of bland about that. Void says there are outliers, of course, because not everyone wants mediocrity. I agree with you, man. The good movies are out there. Don't get me wrong. I watch good movies all the time. Sometimes I talk about them on the channel. But as far as like the popular cinema, the things like movie theaters are a business. Okay? So when you make movies that make $1 billion, you get people butts in the seats. That's all they want to show. And Martin Scorsese just finds that mildly concerning.
Is a fundamentally flawed point of view. Thinking that this is cause and effect. Martin Scorsese, first of all, I got to take issue with this.
If people only have available to them, like say like the general public, people that are not into movies, people that are not cinephiles and that aren't like me, you're buffering so bad for me right now. It might be my fault though. I think that's on you, buddy. I think that's on you, but appreciate you let me know. It's just I lost my train of thought. We'll just keep watching. But anyways, if that's all you're exposed to, that's all you know. And there's really, you know, I don't know. Fucking Coomers, dude.
Number one, Martin Scorsese saying things, and again, saying that this isn't cinema, it's something else. Whether you go for that or not, it's something else, and we shouldn't be evaded by it. Marty, you've already admitted you don't even watch these movies. How can you?
He doesn't watch all of them. There's fucking 30 of them. You can watch 5 of them and make your mind up. Give me a break. Void says, my internet's been on the fritz all day because of ice storms. Hey, listen, I feel for you, buddy. A lot of wild. I mean, it's been chilly here. It's been kind of inconvenient for me. It's been raining and chilly, but I am so happy we didn't get hit with any ice storms or anything because that would have really sucked. But I know what's going on in the rest of the country. I know what's going on kind of where you are at as well. Even Dan, my brother Dan, he got hit with an ice storm this morning.
There and say, being the God amongst men that you are, how can you sit there and say, make qualifying statements about a movie genre that you have already self-admittedly said you've never fucking watched? This is below the greatness of Martin Scorsese. For him to make something, because that's just a plain stupid thing to say. That's like saying, you know, I've never watched an episode of Breaking Bad. But man, the acting in it's
not at all. Not at all. You kind of know what you're getting when you are getting into a Marvel movie. And I don't think he said he's never seen any of them. He just doesn't watch them regularly. It's not like, oh, I'm excited. I'm Martin Scorsese, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the new Marvel product.
It's not very good.
Me and my buddy John Campia rolling down to the cinema to watch some Marvel product, some Disney product. Look, I got my ears on. We're cooming together, me and John Campia holding hands, cooming as Iron Man snaps his fingers. Oh my God, coomers.
And the stories are lame. But Kim, you just said you didn't watch it. I know I never watched it, but the acting's bad and the stories are lame. That's one of the most ignorant things you can possibly say.
He just added all these things that Martin Scorsese did not say. He did not say the acting is bad. He didn't say they were poorly written. He said they're a different thing. They're an amusement park ride. They're like, that's kind of what the comparison would be. Yeah, exactly, Voyage. This guy's upset. He's like mad. It's a little disconcerting, a little creepy.
And for a godlike man in the form of Martin Scorsese to come out and say, I don't watch these, they're not for me, but let me tell you about these movies that I don't watch. They're different. They're not real cinema. They're different. Now, look, I've said before, Rob.
Ayo.
I've said before, and I stand by it, a lot of comic book movies are spectacle. They're not The Godfather. And so I saw a little bit of validity to a degree. I saw a little bit of validity in what Martin Scorsese was saying before about because they are mostly spectacle, but we are starting to see this genre transcend itself and getting deeper and deeper. I mean, you look at a movie like the Kenneth Branagh directed Thor. Does Kenneth Branagh not make cinema?
Not when he made Thor, dude. You fucking weasel.
When you look at the themes of fathers and sons and all the things that ran throughout in the package of a spectacle of Thor, I think if Scorsese had seen that, he would see what we're talking about.
He would have coomed too.
Maybe he's okay with Joker because he's the one who brought it to the table. I don't know.
Actually, this is because this is kind of old, but Scorsese didn't give a fuck about Joker. In fact, he thought it was kind of sad that they just remade two of his movies and called it Joker. He's consistent, you coomer.
But again, much like the Jennifer Aniston situation, where she seems to have this, and a lot of these people in Hollywood right now have this misconception that, if the comic book movies just weren't there, everybody would be coming to see my movies. And you know what?
Actually, they probably would because they wouldn't have anything else to see. So there is something to that. Void says, I would rather not refer to any man as a god among men. We are merely men and women on a rock. Fair point. Martin Scorsese is kind of like a god, though. Young man. Young sir. Just joking.
I'm going to say this right now, and I'm going to hold to this. I think a part of this is a little bit of sour grapes that he's not getting The Irishman picked up by a traditional distributor and getting a traditional theatrical distribution. And I think he's looking for a scapegoat, and he's blaming comic book movies. Here's a news flash, though. AMC Theaters alone, just the one theater chain. This is not counting Regal. This is not counting Cinemark. This is not counting Landmark. This is not counting all the other movie theater chains out there. AMC Theaters alone in 2018 played over 206 different films on their screens in North America in 2018. You know how many of those are comic book movies? Less than 5%. Less than 5%. Martin Scorsese, the god amongst men. How can you sit here and say...
Because it dominates the conversation. It's the only thing that popular media, people like John Campia, talk about with any fervor or respect or reverence. And that's in 2018 as well. After COVID, theaters come back from COVID, you're going to see that number tick up. Like, theaters are not going to be, that's all they're going to want to show. Because they're going to want to try to make some money. Theaters are about to become very niche. Void says, man among men is probably better. Fair enough.
Theaters need to make room for these other movies. They had over 96% of the theater screens. What are you talking about? If theaters would only make room for these other movies. They're playing these other movies. They're there. I don't mind a conversation about, hey, let's talk about the artistic merit of comic book films.
Like, see, this is the problem. Like, this is short-sighted. Like, Scorsese's, he's living in 2034. He's, like, looking into the future in his crystal ball. Campy is just like, well, this is not, like, I just looked yesterday, and that's not there now. Hey, now. That was a good shot. You couldn't see it, but I got it in the bag. Yeah, you know, like, it's not what Scorsese's talking. He's talking about the integrity of the art form in the future as we progress, because this is also new. It's also new.
That comic book films need to continue to evolve and incorporate more truly artistic merit. I'm all for these conversations, but quit throwing up these fake, nonsensical arguments. We're being invaded by comic book movies. You know how many Marvel movies are coming out this year, or in 2020?
Too many.
I believe two. We're
many.
being invaded. Oh, theater owners need to make room for other movies. More than 96% of the screens are being taken up by other types of movies. And I just, it's upsetting when somebody who is so not good, somebody who is so great, like a Martin Scorsese, somebody who is so smart and knows this business, says something so stupid. And especially it's frustrating when I just spent a couple episodes defending him, and then he comes out and doubles down on this.
Well, because if you did defend him, you were probably correct with your assertion, because like the updated quote that they're responding to is not that much different than what he said originally. It's really just not that dramatically different. He's just saying, like, you know, we got to like preserve the theatrical experience, not just for amusement park things. But anyways, here we go.
Which makes me feel dumb. Not the first time that's happened. But I just think what Scorsese, again, when Jodie Foster makes an off-the-hand remark, nothing to get too upset about. When Ethan Hawke makes an off-the-hand remark, nothing to get too upset about. But come on, we've got Ben Kingsley, Sir Ben Kingsley.
Oh, go fuck yourself. But anyways, the reason why people respond the way they do, like I said, is because it dominates the conversation. The zeitgeist. There is no room for other things. That's what they're, like, you know, tepidly upset about. That's what they're talking about. They're not talking about, like,
Academy Award-winning actor Ben Kingsley performs in these movies.
He was in an Iron Man, goddammit. He was in a fucking Iron Man, you
appearing
bitch.
in these types of movies. We have
You fucking
legends.
bitch.
We have
You
Kenneth
respect.
Branagh directing these movies. We have legends of the screen participating in these things in a developing...
Yeah, everybody likes money, Campia. Everybody likes fucking cold, hard cash.
and growing genre that isn't fully mature yet, but it's getting there. And then we got people like the greatest of the great and Martin Scorsese making just asinine, ridiculous comments like this that makes me mad, not because you're saying bad things about my...
So this other guy, Robert Meyer Burnett, I actually kind of like him. He's all right. The dude that's this dude. He's okay. I don't remember what he said. I don't know if he agrees with him. I may have to ban him. I may have to go clip it and be like, Mr. Burnett, you've made a fool of yourself today, and you know better. Because this is a guy that, he's a genre fan, big Star Trek dude, into Star Trek, has a lot of smart things to say, but he's also a fan of just film and filmmaking. He's a filmmaker himself. Now, he would probably agree with Martin Scorsese. He's got an independent movie kind of like in the works or about to come out. Something Shalom. Tango Shalom, I think it's called. And he would love if he would have the opportunity of something like My Big Fat Greek Wedding. That gets to be put in a major theater, and it becomes kind of a zeitgeist. It becomes a moment thing. It becomes a zeitgeist thing. It's huge. Like the opportunities for that to happen, for something like a My Big Fat Greek Wedding to like be a giant cultural thing, the window on that is closing because of the way the conversation is funneled. And that's really what Martin Scorsese is talking about. Look at this little weasel face here. Oh my God. Is he farting? Is he pooping? Has he got an idea? I don't like this haircut either. I wouldn't trust a man with this haircut.
Comic book movies, but he's making himself look like he's out of touch. And he is the greatest of the great. And it's frustrating to me. Anyway, I'm sorry. I've ranted on that way too long.
And now
Rob,
I'm crying. And
you read these
I got
comments.
tears in my
You
eyes.
saw what
I'm
Marty
crying.
had to say. What do you make of them?
Well, yesterday on my own show, Robservations, I went into this at length. And I just as an experiment, I looked back at the top 25 movies of this year so far and the top 25 movies in 1980. All right? In the top 25 movies in 1980 included both Popeye and Flash Gordon, which were comic strip adaptations.
I love that Popeye movie.
Any Which Way You Can, which was a sequel to Any Which Way But Loose, Every Which Way But Loose. Smokey and the Bandit 2. The top 3 movies were 9 to 5, Stir Crazy, and guess what? The Empire Strikes Back.
Sounds like almost an awful year of movies. Like people just like garbage when they are fed garbage. Oh, see, you would have to tell me the other movies that came out that year, so I could get the temperature on the time. I need the data, Robert. I need the data.
1980, 39 years ago, and 2019, actually, there's a few more comic book movies, but in terms of sequels, there's a bit more now. But in terms of populist movies, pretty much the same. 40 years apart, you could make an argument that the same kind of movies are in theaters now that were in theaters 39 years ago.
No, not at all. Not even the marketing, the way it fucking envelops everything. No. And I grew up in the 90s where every fucking movie was a Happy Meal. I mean, marketing's been a serious thing forever. But, Batman Forever comes out. I go to Burger King. I buy my goddamn Batman Forever cup. I go see Batman Forever. But also, I'm going to see something like I'm going to see Outbreak. I'm going to see Copycat. I'm going to see some thriller. I'm going to see Seven. What was available was just a broader spectrum, and these guys are kind of missing the forest for the trees. And this guy right here, this Jamoke, he knows better too. He knows better. And he's just like, he's cooming because he just loves these Marvel movies. Hey, and guess what? If you like Marvel movies, great. That's awesome. I'm happy for you. I get a little juiced. Okay, being a DC kid, growing up, I get a little juiced when I see Batman. Okay, I get a little juiced. I start cooming myself a little bit. But not like this. Not like this.
That's a good point.
What has changed is the amount of money movies cost and the amount of money that movies make at the box office, because there's now a global marketplace, and the real difference is, what do global audiences want to see? And global audiences want to see what they've always wanted to see, which is populist movies.
See, this is the problem. He just said what gets to the heart of the matter. When you make globalist cinema films, right? You have to be kind of flat, boring, mediocre, because it has to pander and be accessible to everyone. To everyone around the globe, with all our cultural differences, with all those things. Somebody in China has to be able to like Iron Man in the same way as somebody in Nebraska does. And then you get these things that are bland and unauthored. And it's a sad state of affairs. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Okay?
But American movies are now getting released on a global scale, which they've never been released
This Coomer loves it.
Now, then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the great basketball player who's now a TV writer, wrote a great article in the Hollywood Reporter about Martin Scorsese's comments. And basically he made the point that there is populist films, populist art, and there is high art.
Okay, so that in essence, what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said, in essence, is what Scorsese said. He just said, there's something different. There's something other. There's something else. There's a third category. We don't need to get into some dumb semantic debate about what that means or how do we categorize things. No, there's just something different. They're not about capturing the human experience in the same way that a Fellini or a Kubrick or even Spielberg. Spielberg makes populist movies, but he also has a handle of the art form. Ready Player One notwithstanding. I was not a fan. Void says, these men make you feel horrible to know you like the same things as them. It's like when a guy who plays GTA 5 a lot goes and shoots up a school. They blame the video game, so everyone who plays it is in question. I agree with you. Like, it kind of, people that mount these kind of pedantic, childish arguments about something that is just kind of basic. It's not, it's not that difficult to understand what Scorsese's getting at if you just take the time to listen and not just be a reactionary, not just like knee-jerk, like, oh, he's attacking this thing I like. So I agree with you. It makes you feel bad, like you don't want to be associated with them. Don't worry about your spelling, man. You're kidding. I'm awful as well. You download Grammarly if you have a laptop. Save you a lot of pain.
John, you said it very correctly. Martin Scorsese's new movie, The Irishman, 3.5 hours, an epic that used new special effects technology with our greatest actors. No studio could make that movie for 150 or 160 or 175 million, whatever it ends up costing. No studio could have put that movie out and made money on it. The global environment that we live in is just not going to support that kind of a film. It's not going to make $1 billion, and that's what a studio needs a movie to make in order to release it in theaters.
See, here we go, boys. Here we go. See, this is just showing his hand. Just admitting something. These are commodities. These are products. This is not about art. This is about This is about commerce. This is about making money. That's what it's about. And they love it. They fucking love it because they're using this gross infrastructure to rationalize how much they fucking want to come to goddamn WandaVision or something. Which is actually not awful, by the way. Just saying.
Going to cost $170 million to make. Yeah.
Exactly. Netflix, which didn't exist 40 years ago in 1980, along with many other streaming services, are providing a new outlet, a new choice for viewers, something that has revolutionized both filmmaking in terms of being able to support films that would not get made. We live in a new environment. So what Martin Scorsese, like you pointed out, he's out of touch.
Part of, and this is the sad thing. It's kind of almost like a sad thing that Martin Scorsese has to go to Netflix. Granted, I understand what they're saying, because of the way they made The Irishman. Specifically, The Irishman, that thing was a giant budget movie because of the technical aspects of trying to de-age the actors and so on and so forth. But what Martin Scorsese is trying to imbue to people is that the theatrical experience for a narrative drama is important. It's impactful. When you watch a movie in that environment, it is different than watching it in your house. It's different than watching it on your laptop or your home or whatever. It's just different. It affects you differently. The level of focus you have in a theater is much different than it is when you're at your house and life is happening and yada, yada, yada. It's just like infuriating that these grown-ass men that kind of don't understand this or are selectively choosing not to. So Voice says, so there's a rolling blackout rolling through. I might not be back. See ya if I see you later. Hey, man, be safe and be well. Take care of yourself. Don't freeze to death. All right, well, let's continue. It just bums me out. It's just sad that this is the face of modern nerddom. And like I said, this guy, I don't hate this dude. He's got this Rob Observations, I think. He does this daily live stream. And he's an insightful guy. Thoughtful person. So it's sad to see him fall like this. In this moment of defensive weakness.
I think his own streaming service that came and rescued a project that no one else would make has given us and viewers around the world, because Netflix is around the world, a new venue to see movies that wouldn't otherwise get made. And we're going to see it in the theaters. I believe AMC made a deal with Netflix to show The Irishman in movie theaters. So we just live in a new world. It's a new evolved world, as every world that we've ever lived in is constantly evolving and changing. And
Like, they talk about this so fucking literally. They're not seeing the bigger picture of what he's talking about. It's so frustrating. And they're doing it from this really gross consumerist coomer place, you know? Like, they're just upset that Martin Scorsese might think that, you know, I don't know, like a dumb amusement park ride is a dumb amusement park ride. It's very revealing, their priorities, you know?
And we have more opportunities now. These opportunities to make The Irishman didn't exist 10 years ago. So, Marty should just chill out. You know, like you said, people love comic book movies.
If they made The Irishman 10, 15 years ago, it wouldn't have cost as much because they wouldn't have had to de-age them. Maybe they should have made The Irishman when he wanted to. Pay a little respect. A little respect to the king.
I wanted to see them my whole life. I never got them. But because of technology where it is now, we get them. And it's great. And I love them. And I bought them all. And I want to get that Best Buy $500 box of all of the Marvel Infinity Saga.
Like, he can barely talk. He can barely breathe. He's so fucking exasperated. He's like, so, he's just like, I got the Marvel movie Best Buy exclusive steelbook. Cooming.
4K discs. I don't think I could ever afford it, but I want it. And Marty's just flat out wrong. He's wrong, dude.
Yeah, and look, and here's the other thing.
Dude.
It's unnecessary. Because, look, if a celebrity comes out and says, a filmmaker, an actor, whatever, comes out and says, I don't like comic book movies, and that bothers you, that's on you. They're allowed to like or not like what they like. But when you're somebody in a position like Martin Scorsese who comes out, I don't really consider the cinema, and then you go on and continue and you double down on it, now you're using aggressive language like they're invading us, movie theaters need to stand up to these things. Now you are...
I guarantee you, Martin Scorsese, little man, Martin Scorsese was not on stage like stomping around like, they're invading us, we must stop them. It's like a turn of phrase. It's just a colloquialism. Like, he's just talking extemporaneously. It's just like, it's like they're invading us. It's like they're squeezing us out. Which you think, you know, maybe Martin Scorsese has a little bit of insight into. I don't know. You know, greatest filmmaker in the world. Has a hard time getting his movies financed. I don't know. What the fuck? Why did it take him 20 years to make Silence? Why did it take him 20 years to make Silence? Okay? He has righteous grievance, okay? Because I'll put fucking Silence. I'll put The Irishman. Anything he's ever done. Cape Fear. Shutter Island. Some of his, like, lesser movies. His genre movies. Because, you know, I don't know if people are aware of this. Scorsese's made a couple of genre flicks. Just saying. Sarah says, don't poke fun about Steelbook splooging. Only when it's, you know, very rarely. You know, only when the price is right. I don't pay top dollar for Steelbooks, but I got a couple nice Steelbooks. I got a couple nice Steelbooks, okay? I got the They Live Steelbook. I got Life Force. I got, what else I got? Christine. John Carpenter's Christine. Underrated film. I got, like, I think I have a few X-Men movie Steelbooks. I mean, I'll never just, like, rebuy a movie to get the Steelbook, but if the Steelbook is there and the cost differential, you know, if it's not that big of a deal, like if it's $1 more or whatever, then maybe we might get the Steelbook.
Without any real function or purpose, for no reason whatsoever, you are antagonizing and alienating.
Antagonizing and alienating. Maybe alienating if you're a friggin'... Cape Fear is a big thank you, Sean. So good. Yeah, Cape Fear is amazing. Because Martin Scorsese knows what he's doing. He's the top of the art form. But anyways, to suggest that this is like antagonistic, oh, he's coming after us. He's not coming after you. He's expressing a fucking opinion. Like, it's not even that crazy of an opinion. Like, how could you not, you know?
A fan base for no reason. There's just no reason for it. He made that comment about not really being cinema, and you know what? We've almost all forgotten about it until these new comments. It only took a couple of days, and we'd almost all forgotten about it. But then he doubles down on it like this, and
then he had to go and spit in our fucking faces. He had to go spit in our faces. He had to say, "Oh my God, how could he do this to us? I almost forgot that thing you said I didn't like, and you spit in my fucking face." Fucking assholes.
Mm-hmm. You know, he's not taking into consideration. Rob, you made the history you just pointed out is great. There has always been populist film. And is Popeye cinema? Probably not.
But it's made by Robert Altman.
No.
And
Robert Altman, just like Kenneth Branagh, can make fucking junk. All right, and I like Popeye. Okay, we're definitely picking up that Blu-ray at some point when the time is right, when the price is right, when the time is right. We're picking up that Blu-ray, but. At least I know.
It's always been there, except now it's popular. And basically what Martin Scorsese has just done is he's gotten on a pulpit and said, "You unwashed masses, shame on you." And it's like, Marty, stop. Just stop. Make your amazing movies and let us just appreciate them, and then let us decide what we want to watch.
And John, in the ultimate irony of ironies, the number one movie in theaters around the world is a comic book movie that owes a huge debt to Martin Scorsese's films Taxi Driver and King of Comedy.
And then he brought to the studio. He's the one who brought it to the studio with the director.
It's just unbelievable to me that, of course, I guess, in terms of drumming up, no publicity is bad publicity. And here we are talking about Martin Scorsese, and he's got The Irishman, which I think is going to win Best Picture at the Oscars this year. So what does that say about all of this?
All right. Anyway, Chris, you heard Scorsese's comments. Are we coming down too hard? Are we doing exactly what I accused all of us of doing last time he said something? We're all being too hard on it. Where are we at here? What do you think?
Well, last time you posed this question, I believe on air I said, "Get bent, Scorsese."
Oh, what a wonderful,
and
insightful.
I don't think that you should yuck people's yum. If you like something, that's fine.
See, this is this obsession of but just let people like what they like. Don't have opinions. Don't express yourself. They like what they like. Somebody saying that they don't like something or that they have a problem with the way it is or the way it's made does not mean that you can't like it. Are you that insecure? It's fucking crazy. It's such a crazy, coddling, disgusting perspective. Sarah says the man who literally has Kurosawa on display in his backspace. Says the man who literally has every Kurosawa on display in his backspace. Yeah, I agree.
If you don't like something, that's fine. I don't like horror movies. I don't think people who enjoy horror are uncultured swine. And it's cinema. I'm gonna take.
Look at the depths of the projection. These people are insecure about the things that they like. That's what's so crazy. They're insecure about what they like. And anybody that speaks against it is an affront to their personality, to their person, to what they enjoy. Who gives a fuck? Are you kidding me? Why the fuck would you care if Martin Scorsese likes Marvel movies or not? Or thinks that they're a detriment to society, which they probably are. We're fast moving to the place where Marvel and Disney movies are like CCP propaganda.
The Robert Downey Jr. stance here. It's cinema. It plays in theaters. I don't know. And I'm also not going to listen to somebody who was in Shark Tale about what is and isn't good.
What a bitch. What a dumb bitch. I don't talk about women like that very often in a serious manner, but what a yuck the yum dumb bitch.
Well, let's be careful. He is still Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, he has grandchildren, you fuckers, you fucking morons, you fucking simps. This is the thing. He's not eradicate these things. Don't allow them to exist. He's talking about preserving the art form. And these fucking chuckle fucks. These yuck the yummers. Thank you, Sarah. I need to add that to my vernacular. Yuck the yum.
I'm going to call them Yuck the Yummers from now on. We're going to make a t-shirt. It's going to be great. Disgusting. Disgusting. A disgusting display of shallowness and childishness, immaturity. Look at this fucking moron. Look at this face. Look at these fucking... Look at this guy's coming. He's coming right now. She's receiving, and he's watching. That's what just happened. Coming, receiving, watching. The most satisfied of them all three, by the way. He's getting his. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's just like, oh yeah, getting mine. Hope his coom is good. Hope his coom is good.
I mean, look, it's just, again, I would feel less wound up about this if he watched every movie.
Why would you feel wound up about it at all, first of all? And now he demands that he watch every movie. There's like 25 of them. Martin Scorsese is like watching good movies, you fucking simp. God damn you, pig fucker. I'm getting wound up now. I'm getting wound up because they're wound up. Fucking hero over here.
Yeah. If he watched all the comic book movies and came out and like, look, I go to see them because everybody loves them, so I take my grandkids but man, it's rough for me to get through. If he at least saw them,
Right.
Yeah.
I would give. But
Right. Good point, John. Good point, Coomer. Campia Coomer. Coomer Campia. Good point. If he had watched all of them over and over and over again, like us, I made a decision, an informed decision. It's gross. She's dressed like the Scarlet Witch, but nicely. Well, you know, Scarlet Witch looks pretty nice. Just saying.
the dude is making these qualifying statements about movies he's admitted he doesn't. Anyway, guys, I don't want. I've taken up too much time on this already.
I've fucking come too many times.
Think about this. Maybe you're thinking, you know, at Campia, we're overreacting to what he said. We're overreacting to what he said.
Oh my god, that's an understatement.
Let's move on to our
let's do it again.
main
let's do it again.
Optional, and call them despicable. What do you think?
So Martin Scorsese and was Francis Ford Coppola like defended Scorsese? He's like, Marvel movies are despicable. Power, brother. Now let's watch them respond to this, because I think it gets a little wacky. I think this is the original one. I think this is the one I was looking for, maybe? I don't know.
What you think?
Listen,
These old stupid fucks.
Let me be very clear about something. I put this on my social media as well. I don't begrudge anybody, including big filmmakers, to like or not like. People like me have called the comic book genre just mostly it's spectacle between having and 97%.
Like, he wants to pretend he has some sort of big brain take. He's like, listen, I understand, and like, you know, people got the tastes and blah, 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 but what they're saying is so wrong. These boomers, they don't understand our love for the comic book movie, the genres. You know what? I bet if you show fucking Scorsese X2 or Days of Future Past or Spider-Man 2, he's probably like, wow, elevated the material. Good stuff. He probably would. He probably did. He probably did. He probably saw Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 and he was like, oh, wow, this is something really special. This is different. Then he saw Thor. Then he saw Captain America. Then he saw Ant-Man. And he was like, nope.
Of all movies that are come out in 2020 are those other films, so I don't know what Marty is smoking. Well, then Francis Ford Coppola, one of the all-time greats, the maker of arguably not one, but maybe the two greatest films of all time, and God.
Oh, did you read a film book, buddy? You read a film critique? Oh, two of the greatest films of all time. Listen, Godfather 1 and Godfather 2 are great movies, okay? Arguably, Apocalypse Now, better than both of them. That's because I'm a cinephile. I like cinema.
Godfather 1 and Godfather 2. Another one of the most iconic films of all time in Apocalypse Now. He was at a film festival, got on stage, and he doubled down on what Marty was saying, ratcheting up the semantic battle and ramping up the toxicity. in his language.
The toxicity. Oh, the toxicity. We don't feel good when people say what they think about things. Yeah. There was this huge fucking uproar about Martin Scorsese calling Marvel movies amusement park rides. His bro, his fellow auteur was just like, yeah, Marty's right. I got my brother's back. And they just can't handle it. They can't handle it. They can't handle when a man has a backup. It's okay for them to bring on 3 or 4 people to a panel to be like, this old fucking boomer, this guy probably smells like cheese. Probably smells like fine Italian cheeses. And he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Fucking coomers, dude. I cannot stand these fucking people.
And this is what he said.
But they actually have control of the discourse. Kind of what Martin's talking about. Ugh.
When Martin Scorsese says that the Marvel pictures are not cinema, he's right. Because we expect to learn something from cinema. We expect to gain some enlightenment, some knowledge, some inspiration. I don't know what anyone gets out of seeing the same movie over and over again. Martin was...
Sarah says, we don't ever mention Logan anymore in cinema space. That movie, Marty liked. Yeah, he likes art. Logan is art. Hey, it's one of the better amusement park rides. Like, I got emotional when I saw Logan. I'm not gonna lie.
Was kind when he said it's not cinema. He didn't say it's
I would also suggest that Logan is 10 notches above anything that has ever been produced by the MCU. Sorry, I would. It is actually trying to speak to the human condition and how we develop relationships and what that means, and having a legend and having, in a meta sense, it just works so well. But anyway, that's a story for another time. That's a story for another day.
Despicable, which I just say it is. And that is, of course, coming from Francis Ford Coppola.
Salute, brother.
There's a couple things I want to say about this. Number one, none of what Francis Ford Coppola has just said, or Martin Scorsese has said, at all shakes the foundations that they are two of the greatest titans ever in the business of filmmaking. They are two of the best that have ever done it, and nothing that they say about Marvel movies or comic book movies change any of that. And again, to repeat, because it's important, they are completely entitled to their opinion. Again, though.
Now let me lose my fucking mind.
There is a difference between having an opinion and then openly, viciously trying to attack the only fucking game in town that's keeping the movie theaters alive today, you jackasses.
What a piece of shit. What a fucking gross corporatist piece of shit. And this guy fucking makes excuses for everything Disney does. This is a guy, he's like one of these Disney fucking freaks. Goes to Disney like once a week. Like, look at this face. This man looks like a serial killer. He's like somebody that would be a villain on a season of Dexter. You know what I mean?
There's a difference between saying, that's not for me. Like, quite often, guys, anime will come up, right?
Yeah.
And I'll say, you know what? It's not, anime is just not really for me.
Yeah. And that does not make me hate you.
And oddly enough...
It should make you hate him, though. Because anime is cool. There's a lot of cool anime. Oh, look. This fucking joker over here, he's got an Evangelion t-shirt on. That's nerve. That's nerve, normies. That's why they cut to this. Well produced little show you got here in your bedroom, buddy. Me, I have a beautiful office that was built by my wife. When your wife builds you a beautiful office, John Campia, you're not in some stupid bedroom with all your Funko Pops. You come talk to me. You come talk to me.
It doesn't make you hate me. It's just, hey, you know what? It's just not for me. A lot of people love it. Not for me. Want to talk about the Star Wars prequels? Okay, I hate those things, but I celebrate if other people like them. That's great if other people like them. They're not for me. They don't work. If you ask me, I'll say I think they're terrible, but a lot of people love them, and that's great. What has saddened me a lot when looking at this situation of Scorsese and then the escalation of Scorsese and now even the escalation more by Ford Coppola. What saddens me a lot is the complete lack of class.
Lack of class?
The complete lack of class. These infinite...
Talking about fucking dumb popcorn movies? Do you even know who you're talking about? The lack of class? Like, even if you were to disagree with them, even if you fucking completely disagreed with them, you have to respect why they feel that way. Lack of class. Look at this fucking guy and his cum face. His dumb cum face. And his stupid Funko Pop. Still in the boxes, by the way. Even worse. Even worse. Not good.
Infinitely classy men are exhibiting. Rob, I've said for a long time...
Rob, will you kiss me?
I have a fundamental problem, particularly when it comes to movies.
I'm sure you do.
When filmmakers, I just don't believe this should happen. Filmmakers, which is a astronomically difficult thing to do and to be. When filmmakers, unprovoked, start attacking and shit-talking the work of other creators.
They were probably asked about it first and then had to, like, qualify their statements because you guys were like, qualify your statements.
I just think that is absolutely classless. Let the fans talk about what they like and don't like. Let the film critics talk about what they like and don't like. As a filmmaker yourself, it's not your place, and you're allowed to say, that movie's not for me, but have some class. Say, hey, look, Marty had some statements. This is what I wish Coppola would have said. Look, Marty had his statements. I support him. And, it's just, I know these films are very popular, and I know there are a lot of people who really love them, but they're not for me.
I wish he had just bent the knee and just said what I wanted him to say and not denigrate the beautiful Marvel films. How dare he?
Have some class. I've never appreciated filmmaking. Now, some people will say...
Imagine calling Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola classless. I mean, maybe you got an argument with Francis Ford Coppola. The guy seems a little bit like a sweaty Italian pig. It's okay. I'm part Italian. I can say things like that. But I'm getting the best freeze frames of a campy. Look at it. The rage, the nerd rage. I feel like I really want to take a screenshot of that, but I'll refrain.
I just like hearing some honesty. No. There's a place to have class. If you are a filmmaker to just come out without any provocation and attack the work of other filmmakers, and James Gunn has been very active on social media about this. He feels, because these two guys are gods to him.
Yeah.
Scorsese and Coppola are gods to James Gunn.
And people like you distort the message and make it so somebody like James Gunn overreacts, doesn't really take into consideration what they're saying. I don't know, guys. Maybe you guys are fucking parasitic, entities.
And he's had to sit there, a guy who has never done anything but revere these guys, praise these guys, idolize these guys, and have these guys, for no reason, it's fine if they don't like his film, that's one thing, for no reason to vilify and demonize, to the point calling them despicable, attacking, undermining, berating, and delegitimize his work has been very hurtful.
Oh, very hurtful.
And I get that.
Imagine being like this. Imagine fucking being like this. Oh my God. I'm way more angry than I thought I'd be.
Now, again, there are going to be some misguided people that try to fly to Scorsese's and Coppola, forever greatness is their names, but who will try to fly to their defense saying they're just expressing their opinion. No, if you're not an idiot, you know there's a difference between just expressing an opinion and going on a warpath attack stance.
Say three things. You're on the warpath, buddy. You're on the warpath. Three things have been said. The warpath? Like, what a fucking moron. What a fucking joke. Oh my God. Like, Scorsese makes a statement. Fucking internet freaks out. The world collapses. He has to make a follow-up statement. World collapses. John Campea freaking out. Robert Meyer Burnett freaking out. Coppola says something in defense of Marty. Like, it's not like they're not. This is not a Warpath guy. This is goading. They're being asked to talk about this because of people like you. If you had just taken him at his word when he first made his original comments, we wouldn't be here. This wouldn't have happened in October of 2019.
This has become a campaign. And this has become classless.
A campaign. Like it's fucking what's the word? Like it's organized. Like it's organized. Like what a fucking jackass. Oh, what a gross fuck.
In my point of view. And again, I'm not saying a Scorsese or DiCaprio needs to like these movies. Not at all. There are a lot of people who don't like comic book movies. There are people who don't like the Godfather movies. There are people who don't like Star Wars movies. That's fine. But this thing of a revered filmmaker, unprovoked, to come out and delegitimize and undermine the work of other creators who have never done anything to him.
Maybe they
so
did.
Viciously.
Maybe they did.
And by the way, very tone deafly, because I want to bring up something that Coppola said here.
Listen, you're trying to get Twixt into theaters, trying to get people this 3D experience of Twixt. They're like, sorry, we got to play Iron Man 2 again. Sorry, Coppola. Iron Man 2's got to play again. He's got to play 6 times, 7 times in this one screen. We don't have room for Twixt. I don't care if Val Kilmer is in it when he was in the middle of losing weight but hadn't quite lost it yet. I don't care.
He said, because we learned something from cinema. We expect to gain something, some enlightenment. Tell me what enlightenment I got from Captain EO. Anyway, some enlightenment, some knowledge, some inspiration. I don't know when anybody gets out of these. I'll tell you what people get out of them, Francis. There are a lot of people who get a lot of inspiration out of these movies. There are a lot of people who have their imagination sparked and brought to life by these movies.
An indictment of society, John is going into. That's an indictment of our culture. An indictment. Fucking disgusting. Pig fucks.
There are a lot of people who gain different points of view on the world they live in because of these movies, and that's totally fine if you don't, but fuck you if you think nobody else does and nobody else should.
Wow. Look how angry he is. I mean, I'm joking around. We're having fun, but this guy is upset because Coppola's comments have attacked his identity as the Coomer. What is John Campea without the Coom? He is nothing. He is no one. And you will not take his Coom from him. You will not take his fucking Coom from him.
With all due respect, it's
I like the breathing.
again, there are going to be people who misguidedly
It's
try
like,
to
listen,
say,
all this guy has all this money, all this equipment, and he sounds like he's on fucking Zoobox. Fucking get a producer, Coomer.
hey, relax, they're just expressing their opinions. No, this is a different thing. This is a different level. This is a mounted, coordinated attack on something that is keeping the industry alive just because it's not their kind of movies. And there is nothing wrong with them just saying, hey, these movies ain't for us. I don't personally enjoy them. Nothing wrong with that. And that's why I defended Scorsese when he made his first comment. But it's just...
He's like
again,
uncomfortable.
Rob,
He's about to.
be
He's
sad,
coming. He's like, oh, I gotta
because these
adjust.
are guys we revere.
I've got to adjust. I've just let them have it. I've just let them have it so fucking hard. This fucking dipshit.
And I always will, and none of that changes. These are the guys we all respect. We got The Irishman coming out, which we're all excited to see. Everybody's excited to see. But to act with such lack of class is disheartening. And it reeks of old man yelling at cloud. If you guys have seen that Simpsons meme, it reeks of Even though it hasn't, this business has not left Martin Scorsese behind. But it reeks of a couple of guys who feel like the business has left them behind. It's just sad. And if this was too
pathetic, Jonathan.
Nobody's saying this crap, who cares? But they're titans, Rob. Anyway, I've gone on enough about that. Your thoughts on the escalation?
Let's hear you fat fuck. Your stupid fucking Evangelion shirt that I wish I owned.
That just brought to the table here by Francis Ford Coppola.
Well, I did my whole show observations on this yesterday, and one of the things that I find strange about this is both Coppola and Scorsese began in genre cinema. They began doing grindhouse. In Coppola's case, he did literally sex films, and I don't understand. Take the first Iron Man.
Was there movies, were they dominating the landscape? Were they in the zeitgeist? Were they in every theater, on every screen, sucking up all the air? No. Also, nobody talks shit about genre. It's not genre that's the problem. Guys, give me a goddamn headache. They just, they take these comments and they see whatever the fuck they want to see in them. Look at this guy. Look at this salty bitch. He's coolin'.
Just look at the first Iron Man. The first Iron Man is a fairly intimate story about a man coming to...
A fairly intimate story about a man coming to terms with the fact that he is he's got a heart of gold, but now it's a heart of Iron Man. You know the tale.
Grips with what he's been doing in the world and realizing he's been doing something wrong. And he undergoes a transformation, a change of heart, which is a classical story. I mean, whether you want to say it's part of the MCU or not, it's about a man who was dealing arms, living high on the hog. He didn't really think about what he was doing and the ramifications of...
It's about how it explores those themes. It's not enough to have the themes there. You can have these things, but it's all window dressing for the spectacle, for the bullshit. And nobody is asked to pay attention or dislike him at any point, to question how you feel about that character. That's not the goal. This is projection. This is a man, this is a grown-ass man projecting onto what is tantamount to a children's film. Whether you like it or not, I'm just saying. Like, it's just... What the film demands of you is not to be like that introspective or to think about it in that way. It doesn't. It doesn't. And you're not going to tell me any differently. Because I'm always right. You heard it here first, folks. I'm always fucking right.
What was happening in the world because of what he was doing. And he himself, through being touched by his own weapons and winding up in his own situation, has a change of heart and ends up in a battle not with the forces of the universe.
Oh, he changed my mind. It's Kooming. I'm Kooming.
Who wants to oust it away from him. And his own family. And it's a very intimate story. Yes, he makes himself the Iron Man suit. And yes, he fights Jeff Bridges as Ironmonger. But really, it's really about the battle of a man and his own soul.
The film does not communicate a lot of this. I mean, this is like, and this is also very broad. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Against a family member. And that's a pretty intimate story. And regardless of how you look at things, that's a legit story to tell. You could have told that story
super legit guy
in many other different venues as well, but they chose to make it the cornerstone, literally the foundational block of the MCU.
They chose it to make the cornerstone. It's because that's all they had, Coomer, and you know this.
That's a legit movie, no matter how you're looking at it, no matter where you're coming from, whether you like genre films, whether you like superhero movies at all. And these are guys that haven't even watched these movies. We know from Ryan Coogler that he talks about when Coppola did see Black Panther. So he did see Black Panther. But for them to attack these films, it seems like, I feel like I'm watching like the PMRC, like Tipper Gore back in the 80s complaining about what heavy metal music was doing to the minds of America. And I'm like, babe.
Maybe Tipper Gore wasn't wrong. You ever think about that, Burnett?
You have never sat down. You've never listened to like Ronnie James Dio. You never played a Quiet Riot record. You did not listen to Poison's Look What the Cat Dragged In. You don't know what you're talking about. And unless you're a headbanger yourself, you are not qualified to discuss what's going on.
Yeah, because these are the same things, guys. These are just like out of touch politicians in the '80s trying to censor music or whatever. That's exactly just pure analogy. Just pure analogy. It's not like these guys are filmmakers and storytellers. Like, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They could never. I mean, like, did you not see 15 of these? How can you have a qualified opinion if you haven't seen 15 of them? They understand that it's a fucking corporate product. It's their cogs in the machine. Look at him, look how fucking he's so stoked. Again, we finally camp your face. Look how fucking stoked he is. He's just like, whoa, yeah, Rob, you're getting him now. You're telling him, eh? You're telling him, eh? You're telling him how it is, eh?
And I feel that Coppola and Scorsese are not. I'm like, why? Why would you bother? You guys know genre cinema. It just drives me crazy. I'm like,
yeah, there's a difference. Like, genre doesn't mean bad. It doesn't mean bad. And that's not what they said. It's not at all what they said. It's not at all what they said, you stupid fuck. God damn, this shit makes me this upsetting to me.
Marty, the studios would not make The Irishman. You got $165 million from Netflix. You're in the middle of the evolutionary sea change the industry is going through, and you are leading the charge. You have nothing to bitch about. Coppola is talking about at 80 making Megalopolis, which he shot footage from. He's going to get to make it. I mean, what is the problem? Movies are healthier now than perhaps they've ever been. People are more excited. They're coming back to the cinema. You've got new generations of kids that are watching these Marvel movies that are going to go off and finally find their way back to your movies. Joker is going to bring them back to Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. Why are you bitching? Why?
Chris, you've heard the escalation of the comments.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I mean, it's kind of like being like Degas and Lichtenstein. They're not artists. One does art, one does crap. It's all art. It's all subjective. And one of the things I really like on this show is you guys do a really good job of pointing out how geek culture can have its gatekeepers, right? We as comic book fans sometimes can go, no, this is mine, this is my precious, and you all are ruining at this, or you don't get to know about this. This is my knowledge. And I feel like that's kind of what...
No, adult human beings do not actually act that way. Just coomers. Just dumb fucking coomers like you people that have nothing in their lives, have not started families, have no kids, have no fucking anything in your lives but the things you consume. Fuck you. You guys are going to destroy art. You're going to fucking destroy it because you have nothing to say. You have nothing to say but fucking consumption. It's really disheartening. It's really disheartening.
What's happening here with film is that...
Because these people are acting as gatekeepers. They are. They're going to make people feel entitled. They're going to make people feel self-righteous about fucking Marvel movies. Are you out of your fucking mind? You out of your fucking mind, brah? Bruh.
There's a gatekeeping happening. It feels very elitist.
Yeah, what 17-year-old kid gives a fuck what Martin Scorsese has to say? He's talking about it as a technician. He's talking about it as a fucking artist. The target audience for Marvel movies shouldn't care about this. Should never, probably doesn't even know about this. It's you fucking coomers. You guys are awful. You're awful people.
Say that these aren't films. Film is one of the most...
You said it's not cinema. Dumb fuck. Yum the yuck. Yuck the yum. Yuck the yummers. Shut the fuck up.
Accessible art forms there is. So it's very important that it is reflective of the human condition. And boy, howdy are these comic book movies reflective of the human condition. People with all kinds of different mental disorders have talked...
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh my god. I don't even know if I can't even handle this anymore. I can't handle it.
They really connected to the Hulk character, how they really, really felt.
People with mental illness really connected to the Hulk character, guys. What, Ang Lee's Hulk?
Or Thor and his whole journey through Endgame, and how he still felt worthy at the end, and how that really connected with them. You know, these were
Yeah, because you can be fat and you can be cool. Hey now.
stories that helped us build our own morality, our own sense of right and wrong. So if you're not inspired or don't get anything out of them, that's a you problem, not a movie problem. And again, I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum. If you like it,
I'm not going to yuck your yum, dude. Like, if you don't like it, like, it's fucking whatever. I have no opinion. I can never speak ill of something that somebody else likes because it would make them feel bad.
stuff, great. If you don't like it, that's great. You can have an opinion, and you can also not be an asshole.
Plus, I mean,
Imagine thinking that, like, fucking some of the most storied filmmakers, the guys who have pioneered the craft, they're just being fucking assholes or out of touch assholes, as if they don't have a longer view on what they're talking about. Especially Scorsese. It shows you how insecure. Again, another great Campia shot. Look at this smug dipshit. He's just so happy that people agree with him. He's like, it's my time. It can't be a time. It's Kuman time.
these are the culmination. You couldn't have made Thanos 20 years ago.
Yeah.
He might have been a practical character, and you would have seen a latex ball sack on his chin instead of the amazing what Thanos has been turned into using state-of-the-art CG. Scorsese's own de-aging technology was sort of pioneered through the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's amazing that what James Cameron was doing in the 80s in the Abyss with the pseudopod that led to the T-1000 and T2, which led to Jurassic Park being able to make photorealistic dinosaurs. The MCU is a culmination of all of modern cinema technology coming together, making something possible that was...
Again, we're speaking towards commodity. We're speaking about a commodity. That's what we're talking about. Oh, like the technical prowess, blah, 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 blah. Again, another come, receive. Oh, he's coming too. He's got his little joy, his little prize, little piece of it.
Wasn't even possible 25 years ago, and it's really interesting. I consider myself a very astute film fan. I love Coppola's work. He's a god to me.
Of course.
These movies, which I would have loved to have seen as a kid in the 70s, could not have existed until now. And as a middle-aged man with one foot in the grave, I am much richer than I can watch Infinity War and Endgame today than ever before. So I don't get what your problem is, brah.
And look, and fundamentally, look, and I don't want the conversation to devolve into a, you should like these movies, Francis. No, hey, if you don't like them, you don't like them. It is what it is. But also, there's an incredible sense of a lack.
Imagine tone policing the greatest directors of all time. Some of the greatest directors, living directors of the modern era. Yeah, I would consider 60s, 70s cinema. It's kind of part of the oeuvre of the modern cinema landscape. These guys wrote the book on how people make movies, how serious people make movies. Abel Ferrara, Martin Scorsese, Francis Coppola. Imagine tone policing. Oh, we don't like your tone when you talk about our cartoon adaptations. Go fuck yourself. It's like creepy. It's like fucking creepy. I don't like it.
Lack of wisdom. Look, the comic book movies right now, right or wrong, whether you like it or not, they are the most dominant force in the box office right now.
The diarrhea.
The studios don't make that. The fans make that.
Diarrhea money.
The fans decide what is going to be the most dominant force in the box.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is their identity. They are we're the fans. We have all the power. We do all the things. And you don't. When you're attacking these movies, you're attacking the fans. You're not having a larger conversation about the art of cinema and what that means. No, dude, you're attacking us. The people that buy tickets to feel good about ourselves. Ugh.
box office. The fans decide what they want to spend their money to go see. The fans decide what is entertaining them and challenging them and opening up their imaginations. The fans decide that. For Coppola and a Scorsese, especially when you start upping the verbiage, you start using words like invading, despicable, all this kind of, especially when you're doing that.
Yeah, I get
Nobody
it.
would fault them to just go, not for me. Don't like them. They don't really work. Nobody would fault them for that. But when you look at the fan and you speak out to the fan base and say, what you like sucks.
Nobody did that. That's just how you feel because you're defensive, because you're a grown man who enjoys comic book movies maybe a little bit too much, I guess. If it's this part, if this is this important to you, no movie is this important to me. Well, I take that back. There's probably a few that I would get like actually viscerally angry about. Like somebody like talking shit about. I'm like, whoa, what are you talking about? I'm like, you're just a dummy. You're just a dummy. You don't respect Citizen Kane. You don't gotta like it, but you should respect it. You know? You don't like RoboCop? Well, that's okay, but you should respect it. You should respect it. You don't like The Thing? John Carpenter's The Thing? You don't like The Thing? That's fine, but respect it. Respect it. Put the respect on that.
The movies you're supporting, they're despicable. They're unwelcome invaders.
They're demons in my life.
It's an unwise thing to do. Again, say it for the 5th time. I'm not saying they have to like them, and you can even say, I don't like them. They don't work for me. Why I didn't have any problem with the first statement, but there's a lack of class, there's a lack of wisdom, there's a very myopic sort of, there's a little bit of navel gazing going on here, I feel like, and it is what it is. And look, we comic book movie fans can accurately and fairly be criticized about, don't talk about our precious comic book movies in a bad way. We can be that way. But I really do feel like this is a situation where
you are being that way. That is exactly what you're doing, Campia. You fucking coomer.
No, this really is a mounted attack on these things, and it's not good for them.
A mounted attack, like it's like they coordinated. Like, hey, like Marty called Coppola, yo, Francis, need you to do something for the family, huh? Need you to do something for the family. I think you gotta talk shit about these Marvel movies. I'm getting a lot of heat out there. I'm getting a lot of heat. Just saying, my friend. I've been there for you. Being attacked by these coons on the interwebs. Like, fuck off.
It's not good for the fans. It's having us talk about crap.
Not good for the fans. The fans. Is this who you are? Is like a Marvel movie lover? That's it. That's where we are.
But we should be talking about other things.
Thing to note about John Campea, he always sides with a major corporation. He always does, as if it's his job. Gina Carano gets ousted from Lucasfilm, right? She no longer is employed there. She's not going to be in The Mandalorian. Not going to be in Star Wars anymore. He's just like, listen, they made the decision they had to make. You know, nothing weird, nothing nefarious. Just a bootlicker. Just a fucking bootlicker.
But I just hope somebody gets in their ear and says, guys, you're just making yourselves look stupid, which is beneath you. Please stop. So next time somebody asks you, just say, you know what, the comic, I don't get them. They don't.
Imagine self-censoring this way because these fucking coomers feel bad about what they like. Imagine doing that. Imagine giving a fuck about that. Anyways, everybody. All right. So I did not. In true Zoobox, true nightcap fashion. That went on way longer than I expected to. We went on a wild tangent going on defending cinema. Defending the very nature of it. Against these coomers. These coomers are fucking everywhere, everybody. They're gonna try to fuck you. We're gonna do one last thing though.
We're gonna check out a channel I've been meaning to check out for a while now. We're gonna give you the full context here as soon as I exit out of all this stuff. So a few weeks ago, somebody found one of these nightcaps where I talked about MGTOW. So I talked about Big John, and this is what this guy left for me as a comment on that video.
Okay, we're gonna read it. I'll give this a full listen at some point, but I'm very skeptical of this quote-unquote host who couldn't look more millennial bearded emasculated beta if he tried. Men under 40 or not were feminists indoctrinated. They have zero alpha male experience. Their dads, the first generation of boomer simps. There are two types of MGTOW alpha males, and incel MGTOW by default. Briefly, the alpha MGTOW is usually over 50, been divorced or relationship burned, has suffered under the liberal feminist matriarchy existing within the West, and could get laid any night of the week, but chooses to go his own way and enjoy the million other things worth pursuing in life. He's the most interesting man in the world without giving an inch, giving anything to a feminist female regardless of how many fine traits she may display. He may, as I have several years after my divorce and period of MGTOW re-strengthening, make a bold move after securing a financial retirement and move 8,000 miles to South Asia and marry a hot, young, patriarchal female half his age and live happily ever after. Well, power to you, Mr. X.
Power to you, fella. We're gonna check out. So he has a YouTube channel. He posts videos. 39 subs. We all start somewhere, right? And we're gonna just check out some random videos of his, see where this guy is at. Looks like he's deleted videos, honestly. I think he's deleted a few. But we're still gonna check him out. We're gonna see what this man has on offer. Most of it's just travel-log stuff, it seems like. I think he's in Vietnam. Oh, here's one. July 28th, 2019. I want to hear this guy talk. I want to hear his perspective. Why he feels the way he does about me. Now, if you know me, if you know my life, if you're a fan of Zoobox, you know that a beta with a beta beard, chicken please. Alright, here we go.
Oh, look at that. The face of an angel. How could I ever disrespect this?
I don't know if it gets more traditional than wearing this around my skull, but when I'm just testing it out, because when I go to the Han Market later this morning, it's going to be hot. I'm sweating all the time, morning, noon, and night, because of the humidity.
So this must be when he moved there. So he moves there to find his lady fair, to reach out, to understand, to learn something different, to find a new way. These feminist matriarchal women have destroyed his life in some capacity. He needs to move to Vietnam. Gotta get away from them.
And it sucks. So, I took, this is a shirt sleeve. Let's just leave it at that. And then when I wrap it around my head, it's cotton, so it should help with the sweating. And the weird thing about it is, it's got Vietnam written all over it. And
No, I gotta say, this guy seems like a pathetic simp. Leaving a comment on my channel, on my videos, about me being a typical beta millennial bearded whatever. You look like a simp, brother. You look like a fucking simp, Mr. X. Like, this is a joke. You look like a child. You have no agency in your life. You were so weak and out of control, you had to move to Vietnam to find any type of solace. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing, brother? You come at me, you come at the king, buddy. Come at the king. King Coomer.
And so there's that additional benefit. But I intend to wear this when I go.
Like, his audio quality is so low, I can barely let you guys hear it. He's such a soft-spoken simp. Such a soft-spoken beta. Look at this fucking nerd. He doesn't project the alpha qualities of the Zoobox host. Oh my goodness. How could he ever dream to? How could he ever dream to?
With my friend Nye to the
my friend
this morning. It's 2 a.m. here now, but whatever. My sleep cycle is all over the place, but I am getting plenty of rest, so that's all good. I wanted to explain that yesterday we went to the Vincom Mall Plaza, and that was just, it was bullshit. I did pick up some things there, but like, to give you a quick example, excuse me, the Nike and Adidas sneakers, just, they had all the latest brands. You know, some of those shoes are just ridiculously, they look like pieces of art. They're just so sharp. But anywhere from $70 to, say, $110, $120 a pair. Well, screw that. And I was a little offended, honestly, in regards to the local Vietnamese people understanding, you know, what their general annual incomes are, and for these two brands to be trying to stuff their normal prices down the Vietnamese people's throats here in the country is just garbage. Excuse me. So anyhow,
a man of the people. He's come here to come. He's come here to find a coomer, to allow him to coom. And he's offended about shoe prices. Oh, what a man of the people here. What a dignified individual in his dumb fucking do-rag. Oh, I'm going to be hot. I'm going to be sweaty. My dumb, low testosterone, bald head ain't going to save me. And I got to put a t-shirt on my head. Imagine coming at me, the king. The alpha. Full head of beautiful hair, by the way. Just pleasured my wife moments before coming on the stream. I don't need to go to Vietnam. I just gotta go to my bedroom, buddy. I'm liquid, too. You don't even fucking know. I hope you see this, Mr. X. I hope you stumble upon this. I hope you subscribed to Zoobox. I hope you fucking see this. You greedy little simp.
I sent you guys the links, my brothers, Daryl and Thomas. I sent you guys the links to the Han Market where I can get Nike dry fit shirts. I can get Nike dry fit shorts.
Oh, good for you, buddy. Just a guy living his life.
$5 each. I
want to read a book while you're talking.
For probably $8, without any problems at all. So we'll be doing that today, and I'm really looking forward to it. I was reading another blog where an individual, a guy, was just describing, he said, you know, you sweat so much here in Vietnam that you wear several shirts a day. Just, you know, if you're going out and about and doing things, you know, you do change.
That's because you're a beta, dude. Like, if you were a man, if you were an alpha, you'd be wearing that stank. You'd be wearing that stank, trying to attract the pheromones, buddy. I used to be in a band. And I used to sweat like a pig. I looked like I jumped in a pool at the end of a show. Do a 60-minute block? Oh, my goodness. Looked like I jumped in a pool. Sometimes, though, I wouldn't shower. I wouldn't clean myself. I'd go to the clubs after the show. They wanted it. They liked it. Okay? A dumb beta wouldn't know that. Because a beta's never experienced that. He's just like, oh, I got some dirt on me. I got some to shower. I got some dirt on me. Nah, dude. See, that's because you have no fucking experience other than just the sad life you've led, Mr. X. Sadness in this face. Patheticness in this face. A cooler face.
Clothing a lot because you sweat so much in the clothing that you have.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe why the little laundry businesses here do so well. And that's another thing I have to discover, which is where I can just bundle up all my crap clothes and then take it to, you know, the laundry and have them wash and press and fold, you know, very awesome in a way, the clothing, and, you know, for $2, you know, for the entire lot. And I have to discover that still. So after the we went to the Vincom Plaza. Nai took me to a Vietnamese restaurant for some authentic Vietnamese food.
Authentic Vietnamese food in Vietnam? You don't say, sir. Tip of the hat to you, brother. What a fucking moron. Some authentic Vietnamese. You're in Vietnam. What else would you call it? What else would you call it? Oh, yeah, we went and got some Burger King. I gotta stay normal. I gotta stay right with how I feel about the world. Shut up, Coomer.
And some beers. And what I like about the Vietnamese restaurants is many of them are situated, they're open air, and then you kind of sit inside. And the one we went to had fans, and it was just, I was entirely comfortable there. We had a beef noodle dish that we shared. It came in one large plate with two small bowls, and then we just, you know, shared that. Nai kept filling up my bowl with food and kept filling my glass with beer. And of course, the glasses are small, and they bring a bucket of ice with these huge round chunks of ice cube that you put in the glass to cool the beer off. It was friggin' awesome. And the beef noodles. And
is this a Massachusetts man? He said friggin' awesome. Now that is a very northeastern, dare I say New England, turn of phrase. The sadness continues.
It was just so amazing. The noodles were crazy good. Just so, what a treat to yesterday to experience my first authentic Vietnamese dish. More to come for sure. And then, you know, what was quite amazing is that Nai insisted on paying for the meal and the beers, and I could not get him to let me do that. And I thought that would be my obligation based on the fact that, you know, he took me shopping, and quid pro quo, I would pay for the meal. Nope. So the warmth, generosity of the Vietnamese people in regards to this individual, Nai, is just amazing. We had good conversation, even though he's only been speaking English and learning it for a couple months. And using Google Translate, we were able to talk about several things. The subject matter was simple because the person is uncomplicated. Americans are very complicated people, and the Vietnamese, I'm sure there are some that are, but generally most of the Vietnamese are just a simple people. And so the conversation, we talked about his family. He's 30 years old. He's been married for 4 years. He has 2 children, a son who is 3 and a daughter who is 1, and just fantastic. Showed me.
Yeah, he's an alpha, not like you, who had to escape to Vietnam to find a woman.
All right, everybody. Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to look for another video. I'm bored with this one. I'm bored with this bitch. This guy comes to Zoobox, comes to the King, comes to NIGHTCAP. Talking this goddamn nonsense. So this is, we're going to go to July 28th, 2019. It's going to show some ducks, I think. What's more alpha than showing the world some ducks? Imagine being this
little boy. Imagine being this little boy, this little tasty fella. Imagine it.
This is downtown Riverside, Da Nang.
Let me ask you a question. What is more beta than making a basic bitch travel log? Like, what's more beta than that? Are you going to get a TV show, fella? Huh? She's going to respect you, me, and the other 41 viewers. We're gonna find this entertaining. We're going to learn something? No. You're a beta. You're a beta. You were born beta. You don't know what it means to be a fucking alpha. You kidding me? Sad, Mr. X.
What I was talking about in the email the other day, this is where all the stores and shops
That's
are.
my ape shit.
This that you're looking at right
It's
here.
my ape shit for you,
Showtime
Mr.
Market.
X.
So my second stop here. Today I got another pair of sneakers.
Oh!
A white Adidas hat, and then like a what you would say call a Indiana Jones hat, because you need that sun protection. And if you look down here and walk down here, you can walk down to the river, which I'm going to do in a minute. But I'll just walk with my phone a block or two.
I'm disliking all of these videos, by the way.
Now these gold and jewelry shops,
Hold on. Let's leave them a comment. Should we leave them a comment, everybody? Let's leave a comment. Beta content. Oh, wait. Hold on. We're going to do this right. We're going to do this for beta content. Martin Scorsese. Boom! Oh, let's get some attention, folks.
I heard that this is the best place actually to change American dollars into Vietnamese dong. They give you the best price, the best rate. There's no service fees. The hotel gave me a really good rate, so I have an issue with that. So the the pair of sneakers and the two hats.
Like, imagine being this boring. Holy shit! Like, things like this make me feel better about what I do. Like, I'm just like, oh, who the fuck wants to ever watch anything like this, like that I'm doing? And then you see shit like this, and you're like, oh, I'm okay. I'm alright. There was one, he was talking about the nature of the Coomer. He's been, Vietnam situation. Check it out.
Yeah, the wife and I came down to Da Nang to take care of some business. She had a diamond ring that I bought her, fitted, a little tighter. We went to Han Market just to fuck around, walked around the city a little bit because it's a beautiful day.
Okay, so the last video we watched was like, what, 2019? Now we're talking January 17th, 2021. Now he's feeling like a baller. He's feeling like a man. He says world changed. Now he can talk big. He's got this little lady cooming for him. He's cooming for her. They're getting diamond rings fitted in Huang and in Hunan.
Today, and the weather's been horrific, and today is sunny and beautiful. So I told her, I said, I want to come down and look at Da Nang Beach. You know, I just want to see what's happening in the city a little bit. You know, I told you I fucking hate Da Nang because it's bullshit in terms of how it's being structured and how chaotic everything is. You know, everybody wants to come to Da Nang. That includes your local tourism. For Lunar New Year, Da Nang's going to be a madhouse, and it's pretty much a madhouse every day. But we come down to the beach here, and as you can see, there's not much of a beach. The shit's been all washed out. They've got portions of it closed down.
He's upset. Who is this for? You know what I mean? Like, who is this for? This guy's, he's out here on the beach not pleasuring his wife. Like, I mean, come on.
About another
You're boring, Mr. X.
75 yards.
You're such a boring bitch.
And it'd be all sand.
Oh, no. Great.
Down denying area and getting in and out. When you live in an apartment near the beach, yeah, sure, you can get up every day and you can come and walk to the beach and chill and hang out. But let me tell you something, that fucking gets old after a while, and I love the beach. Part of the reason I moved to Vietnam in the first place was to have access to the ocean, which I didn't have in America. If you live in California or on any of the coasts, it's expensive unless you live in...
Yeah, this is some Midwestern nitwit. Not that all people from the Midwest are nitwits, but this guy's like a dumb fuck, like a dummy. Like a fucking what a beta. Oh my god. You can hear it in his voice. You can barely even get out a fucking sentence without like it's disgusting, in my opinion.
Some shit town in Florida, you know, like a hillbilly, then you can get to the beach. But try getting a house somewhere in California that's near the beach or on the east side, east coast of America.
Where I'm from in North Dakota, we don't have beaches. That's too expensive to live on the coast like those city people.
Anyways,
I moved to Vietnam so I could coom as hard as I could, and I could find somebody that wanted to let me buy them diamond rings because I have disposable income.
Digress. Da Nang is not...
Your wife is a prostitute, my friend. Do not come around the zoo box and claim that other people are betas when your wife is a prostitute.
Not a bowl of cherries, and with all the massive development and everything that's going on in this city, it's just like the Grinch that stole Christmas used to say. All the noise. That's what Da Nang is. You get an apartment here, I don't care if you get a luxury apartment or you
That would make you the Grinch, you dumb fuck. That would make you the Grinch in that story. That's what that would make you. If you're quoting the Grinch. You're the Grinch. And nobody likes you.
get a $100 a month apartment. It's a shit show of karaoke, traffic, noise, chaos.
He can't even fucking speak, this man. This man can't even speak. Karaoke. Who the fuck are you, dude? Take some diction classes. And I said, this is a man with a lisp. I'm a man with a lisp. You are the beta. Zoobox is king. And will always be the gang. Your king.
And on and on and on. It's crazy. It's not New York. It's not Ho Chi Minh. It's not Hanoi. But it's number 3 in terms of just absolute insanity. Too many fucking dipshit, idiot, expat, Western foreigners also live in Da Nang. They're afraid to venture out. They're afraid to live anywhere else. I'm so glad that I settled in Hoi An, where it's rural, it's a farming community. It's got beautiful UNESCO World Heritage Site in the old Hoi An town. I do have access to the beach from Hoi An.
I wonder what he does there. Do you think he's part of like the beautiful farming community? Do you think he contributes anything to the fucking culture that he lives in? Do you think he does any of that? Probably not. Probably not. He's like a tourist. He's like, it's like a fucking, they're like museum pieces to him. It's a fascination of the people out there fucking picking rice patties, and he's just like, what a beautiful countryside. What a beautiful countryside.
And it's 20 minutes away. But Da Nang, you couldn't pay me to live here, and I mean that with all sincerity. It's just getting crazier by the minute. with the amount of development and the plans that they have here. If you look at any Da Nang news site, like Da Nang News.
Fuck would I want to watch this, you boring bitch. You boring coon. Oh my god. We're gonna look at one more video from this guy. We're gonna find something. We're gonna find something that is fucking entertaining on some level. He goes to a 5-star resort with his wife. Vietnam situation. Enjoying a 5-star resort on Phu Quoc. Okay? We're gonna check this out. Last video of the night. Oh, is she telling you to be careful, old man? Don't watch those steps. Watch those steps, Papa. Papa Bank. Daddy Warbucks. Watch out. Oh, it's amazing. This pool is amazing. It is amazing, actually. It's beautiful.
There's nobody out here using the pool. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, probably because of COVID, probably, most likely.
Have this kind of beautiful pool and nobody uses it. Good job.
This is like a serial killer footage. I mean, come on. Jesus, guy.
I don't care about snacks.
Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Look at the pores.
Hey, Anli. She probably speaks English, but can you ask her what they mean by snacks? Like, what do they mean? Potato.
I can tell you what. He ain't wearing no mask. Not saying that he needs to. I'm just saying. You would be able to hear it.
Chips or French fries or what is snack?
Em snack của mình là cái gì á? Cái đồ ăn vặt của mình là cái gì á? Có pizza, sandwich, khoai tây chiên.
Show us your beautiful wife, you fucking coomer.
Salad, pizza.
Oh yeah? Wow.
Wow.
And what time does that start?
Chicken wings. Can I get some chili on it? Hey, could you put some cheese whiz on these chips for me, bitch? Shut up, Coomer. Shut up.
The lost in translation is which I have to get everything clarified in Vietnam because they do things differently here.
Yeah.
Snacks could mean anything, so.
Oh, it could mean sexual favors, as I've
snacks were they talking about?
learned when I first moved here.
But no, they have pizza and French fries and burgers and blah blah blah. So
Thank you for clarifying that.
I'll bring it out to the beach in case we get hungry.
In case we need to get tasty treats.
Of course, a pizza's probably like $20, but that's okay.
I can afford it. We're at the
And
resort.
they wanted to find out if they had towels.
That's why the lady is with him.
So these are
He could
good,
afford
Sally.
$20 pizzas.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Fusion Resort,
Wow, it's big.
Yeah, and very expensive. Wow, look at that villa. Private pool.
Yeah.
Because we were supposed to be able to rent bicycle also. Yeah, not rent, but they have free bicycles. And when you get out here, it looks like you can ride a bicycle all over.
Oh, the ball already there.
No, you don't have people there. You have one, and you have one Vietnamese woman that is out here taking photos. I just got done telling Ann Lee all these Vietnamese women, they'll put on a bathing suit or some kind of fashion, come out here, take photos for 30 minutes and then run back to the room because they're afraid of the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to get...
Yeah. Is this JF? This is JF and his wife. You'll get it if you get it. Oh no. Hit the wrong button.
I will take care. Oh, they have. Okay.
Oh, they have canopies. Here?
Beautiful beach. Oh, beautiful beach.
Beautiful fucking
This is our
beach,
first
bitch.
look at the beach. We got here yesterday.
Oh, he's coming, dude. He's coming.
Come on, come on.
Hold on. What's she doing over here? What's she up to? What's she up to?
Come off the beach.
Oh, you come off the beach. And you come here and you
Yeah,
fucking...
we'll go get a towel. No, not broken. Yeah, but you just like, like very fast.
No, you have to do it that way.
Come on, come on.
He thinks his wife is stupid. But she's so cute. She's so cute. She loves me for my money. For going to a resort. For going to the beach. Oh, what a beautiful night. What a beautiful time we have. Oh. Oh, Mr. X. You just like, you're probably one of the most beta people I've ever seen. On this here. YouTube.com. Maybe the most beta I've ever seen. And your content is boring. Like, there's nothing even here. Like, there's no worldview. There's nothing to discuss. There's nothing to understand or learn. You're just a sad fucking dude. Tragic. Tragic, everyone. Well, I think that's going to do it for us for Nightcap. This day. We started on the 16th. We're ending on the 17th. Content here on old Zoobox. I hope I remember to upload this. There's a Zoobox Live that I have not uploaded to the main channel yet. Actually, no, I've uploaded it, I have not posted it. What a wonderful gift. Alright, everybody, you have a great night. I'll see you next week. Next Monday. We'll be back Monday, normal time. Check it out. Also in the description, go check out this alternate channel, this alternate YouTube channel that is owned by whoever. I don't know. I'm not in control of these things. But yeah. Good night. Good luck. We'll see you next week.